Right, ladies and gentlemen, and brothers and sisters, this is at the Inter-American Festival of the Laity. We've literally just finished a tremendous experience of baptism explosion across the division. Over 50,000, some are saying over 60,000 individuals were baptized. And I have here with me the president of this illustrious division, Pastor Israel Leito. And
Certainly.
Elder,
My
we're just
pleasure.
so pleased that you're able to
Yes.
speak to us from the British Union of
Certainly.
Seventh-day
Certainly.
Adventists.
It's my pleasure.
Elder, I just got two basic questions to ask you. And the first question really goes like this. How can you tell us of what are those things that are contributing, the strengths and the opportunities that are contributing to this tremendous results we keep reading about and today we experience literally in the flesh?
The one thing that we must never forget, this is God's work. And so we rely totally on Him, for Him to give leadership, for Him to give inspiration, and to follow His guidance. And so when you force everybody to think as you think, you will stifle God's work. And the basic thing that we have proposed to do, let God's people free.
Right.
So they can think, so they can create, and this is what you see. This is the combination of not my brains, it's the combination of everybody thinking and the Lord inspiring His people to come to this conclusion.
Okay. So you've given all those freedoms for people
Of
at every
course.
level.
At every level.
Because, of course, this is a festival of the laity. So what
Exactly.
we're seeing today is the work of your ordinary member in the church. Now, I use the word ordinary.
Yeah, I was about to correct you.
Advisedly, because, of course, they have produced extraordinary results, which suggests
Certainly.
to us that the extraordinary God is working through their
Exactly.
brains, as you put it.
Exactly. Yeah.
Now, Elder, we see the positive results. There were some figures mentioned yesterday about how many people are actually at the cutting edge of this particular thing called Pentecost and more.
Yes.
I don't know who did the stats, but they said there's more, just over 20% of your 3.5 million division rank and file members who are actually driving this thrust. Of course, others are supporting,
Yes,
but
yes,
they're
yes,
at the
yes.
front.
Yeah.
The question is, what are some of the barriers or weaknesses that might be there that had they not have been there, we would have seen even a greater result? Do you,
Okay.
as division president?
Yes. Well, of course, we don't fix ourselves on the negatives.
Sure.
And there are no barriers that we say the Lord cannot go over it.
That's right.
So we don't stop to look at them. However, there are things that the motivation of the members to be involved is number one. We wish we could have the total of our membership. But of course, you have the elderly, you have the children, you have those that they cannot go out and preach. But whatever they can do, they do. And we tell them all the time, even if you have to just sit in church and pray, come and do it. Because if you are there, people walking down the street, they see the church full, they will stop and say, what's going on?
Sure.
But if the church is empty, a crowd draws a crowd, you
That's
see.
right.
So in that, we get everybody involved with us. But the things that we can say are impediment, that at times we feel, oh, we need more. We wish we had more. We wish we had more finances to do this, even though this division is relatively well off financially. But if that is one thing. I was even talking to a president today of a union that says, look, we want to conquer Mexico City.
Right.
But thus the initial steps is costing us these many hundreds of thousands of dollars to do that. We need help.
Sure,
These are the things.
Sure.
So, but there are no impossibilities for the Lord, and we are open to be used by Him with or without any resources.
Sure.
Yes.
And you've got a growing division, what I recognize is very young as well.
Yes, certainly.
Is that a weakness in any way? Has that
No,
proved to
no,
be-
that's rather a strength because we have, you saw the youth right director today, and you have seen so many young people and children participating
sure.
because we have decided they have abilities that the Lord can use, and we cannot force the young church to be like the middle-aged or the old church, and so we have to give them that leeway also to function, and you can see how they bring their vigor to the church, and that helps strengthen the whole thing. We don't see them as a problem.
Okay,
No,
thank you.
no.
I have just two other questions because I know you're
Yes.
very, very busy. One thing is, as regards evangelism, when you look at your budget, because you mentioned finance earlier,
Yes.
what proportion, I don't know if you have those figures, I know you're not doing the treasury,
Yes.
but what proportion of your budget
Yes.
as a division goes towards
For the
the actual
the
evangelism?
last 10 years, we have dedicated between $8 and $10 million per quinquennium to church growth and consolidation. Our strategic plan, because we formulated a strategic plan, and then we have apportioned money for everything, and church growth and consolidation takes at least 75% of that.
Right.
So we can. So if you take, let's say, $10 million and you take 75%, at least $7 million is going to evangelism.
Actual
This is
evangelism.
only from the division side.
Right.
Only
It
from the
doesn't
division
include
side.
all the unions.
No,
and
no,
that.
no, no, no. They have their own way
Sure,
of contributing the
sure,
local
sure.
fields to churches. But this
Sure,
is
sure,
what the
sure.
division as an
Sure.
entity puts into event growth and consolidation for the church.
Finally, Elder, we are from the British Union, as I
Yes.
said to begin with. We listened to the reports of the various unions. Of course, there were some greater than others in terms of
Yes.
baptisms, but
Yes.
one stuck out, of course, 169,508, something like that.
It's rather
Were
larger than
baptized.
larger than the Trans-European Division.
Yes, indeed, just the
You
one
know,
union.
yeah.
So we're saying to you, what advice, what encouragement, what pointers would you suggest to those of us in the British Union who would want to see success like that in the very near future?
Well, the one thing we tell our people, don't measure yourself with anybody.
Right?
Measure yourself with yourself.
Right.
Because when you start looking at what others are doing and you say, oh, I can't do it, you won't do anything.
Sure.
So we tell them, just don't measure yourself with others. Do what the Lord gives you to do. Let me give you some pointers on the Mid-Central American Union, our largest union up to now, because if everything goes well, we will divide this union upcoming General Conference spring meeting.
Right.
We'll vote to create two different
Sure.
unions, so it won't be the largest union anymore. But the one thing of it is, the economy is strong, but still people are so committed. They can, and you have heard the testimonies, people can go work from 7 to 5 and come back, just take a bath, take a bite, and they're off doing missionary work.
Right.
So that's the spirit that drives this whole thing. Of course, what they can do in Mid-Central America, I doubt you can do it in the British Union. Because they can just walk to a neighbor and say, I've come to give you a Bible study. Knowing Europe a little,
Yeah.
you mean you have to call 3 weeks ahead to make an appointment?
Sure.
You know? But still, then you have to find a way how to address that issue. Make the appointments, do it, and have them go ahead. Don't sit and say it cannot be done. It can be done. The Lord can guide, but we have to formulate a plan within the context of what we have.
Yeah.
We cannot export. I can assure you, I can take this super team that we have at the division. I'll take it and I'll transplant it to the Trans-European Division. We won't have the success that we're having. We may have success because these are high-powered people, but it will not be the same because of the elements we have to work with. Certainly so.
Well, thank
Yes.
you so
Okay.
very much. We
It
really
is my pleasure.
appreciate
Certainly so.
your kindness and your candor.
Certainly.
God
yes,
bless you.
certainly.
Thank you.
Blessings. Okay. Greetings to my
Success.
brethren in the British Union.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay.
Success.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.